up, guys? This is DrVic, and you're listening to another episode here on the Mindful Experiment. Excited to have you on. As you know, something I was reflecting over the weekend, and I thought it was great. Had a conversation with my wife. Amazing weekend. It was her birthday weekend, so try to make it as special as possible and be able to connect with her and show her how much I value her and how much I appreciate her and how much it really means to me. And so did a lot of things, and we had one of these conversations, and I was talking about how we were walking through a park and just looking at nature, and I was very fascinated. I always get very fascinated with nature. I mean, it's the most simplistic thing, right? Why do they do this, or why did they do that, or why is that, or man, how did they know this, and how did they know that? And it's just different things. And we got on the topic where I'm coming up with an online class. It's coming out in a couple weeks. You'll be hearing about it. You'll be able to register in a couple weeks. I'm going to give some special savings if you register within that time frame. Before we do launch some more of the marketing side of it out to the public. And so one of the things is I created the logo, and it has this like little circle, and it has a lion face on it. And my wife's like, you wanted to do the jaguar. Why did you choose the lion? And one of the things is that I've studied lions. I've studied their lifestyle. I've studied how they are. And I hear some misinformation on lions from motivational speakers like, oh, a lion will never go ahead and attack a weak animal of the prey. It only attacks what it wants to fight. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then I tell my wife that, and she's like, no, I've watched so much National Geographics. That's not how they work. She looks it up. She researches it, and she's like, I told you, they're opportunistic. They take a minute. I'm like, okay, I got it. And they weren't speaking the truth there. But there's some things about the lion that have fascinated me, and the reason why I'm using it. Now, I don't like to use things when a lot of people are using stuff. When I see a lot of people doing things, I go the opposite way of that. It's just been a way of my life. It's just a way I do things. And I highly recommend doing that because you don't want to follow the masses. But at the same token, there are reasons why I choose the lion in my life and choose it as a symbol for this class and a symbol to be utilized in other things. And one of the things is you can learn from nature. If you study any animal and their lifestyle, you can learn so much about life. And I think you get more wisdom from that than you do from reading a book, than you do from many other things besides life experiences. And the reason why I say it so strongly like that is because when you study a lion, right, the first thing that fascinated me is they sleep 20 to 24 hours a day. I mean, that's just what lions do. So they sleep 20 to 24 hours a day, but yet they're the king of the jungle, right? They're known as the top. That's what they are. That's what they do. And it's very fascinating for me because I'm like, wow, they sleep a lot, but yet they're king of the jungle. They're on top of the world, right? And I started to go, okay, well, I'm a workaholic. I'm a type A personality. I'm a task-oriented individual. I like to get things done. I like to keep moving forward and so much more. And so when I read that, I was like, maybe I'm in discord. Maybe there's some things here that I need to look at. And I never revisited it as much. And then until I had my own chickens, and I know this doesn't relate to lions, but it was another thing I needed to see, right? And so I would watch chickens, and I would see them, when I feed them every morning, man, they pig out, they get all excited, they're scratching, they're pecking, they're eating, they're doing all this stuff. And then about like an hour later, they're sitting there taking naps. And I'm like, interesting. And then they'll get out and they'll peck a little bit more when they feel like it. And then they go ahead and take a nap. And then they'll go, you know what I mean? And they took their breaks, and I was just like, interesting. We have ducks. I got ducks about 20 weeks ago now. Should be laying eggs any second now. And fascinating, same thing, right? They go, they play, they enjoy themselves, and then they take naps. I've seen it in my dog. I have a very energetic pit bull who I love to death. And same concept. He sleeps most of the day. Actually, most dogs sleep around 16 hours a day. They're 20 hours a day on average. And I was like, interesting. I'm like, if they're in the wild, would they do that? And so again, pulling that together, those were signs that reconfirm the lion for me. Then I started to realize that it's true. And I started to realize how I had to make changes in my life. And I started to realize that quantity versus quality. And so it's not about how much I'm getting done. It's about the quality of the work that I'm doing, that I get the work done. And so I've really slowed down in my life in the last year. I don't get as much things done, all the busy work plus everything else. But when I do need to get something done, like that, When I'm locked in and ready, like that. I did that with my 2 books. It was once I sat down to write, it was done. One book, 23 hours, another one, 27 hours. That's actual writing time. And this is not to brag or impress you. Trust me, it has nothing to do with that. It's trying to hone in the message and to align it that when you get synced in quality, ready to go, hammered, all in alignment, you're going to knock things out really, really fast. I've done a course. I've done one of my 12-week courses I knocked out in 2 weeks. Video content loaded, all synced and ready for my students who signed up. When they first signed up, I didn't have anything on there. Well, I had the first week and that was it. And so it's the thing where, quality versus quantity. And what I'm starting to realize is when I do that, it frees me up with more time to do other things, spend time with family, do things I love to do, recharge, re-energize, and so much more, right? So the point of the message from the lion of what we can learn is get better with quality, focus, hyper focus, have better time management, which quality and energy behind it, because that will get you to get more things done over the long run, which I've realized in the last year or 2 years, I'm doing a lot more. I'm getting a lot more done with less work, which is fascinating. For me, it has been. It's been a great trial for the last couple of years. I started doing it in my chiropractic office of what's less is more. And I started realizing and trying that out. And it works. And then I started to do this with coaching clients. I started to do it with my programs, my online classes. I've done it with my books, and it works. I can knock out a book, and people think took forever to write a book, and it's like, no. So you can do these things. I'm not special in any shape, way, or form. I'm just like you. There is no difference between you and I. And it's just knowing how to shift the energy and the focus to be centered to do that. Second thing I learned about lions. They're very courageous animals. They will go ahead. This is more from the spiritual side. The spirit animal, things along that nature. I've been sharing this on Instagram a little bit. And when you have the lion animal, showing up from a spiritual side, it means you're tapping into your personal power, okay? Your strength, your self-confidence, courage, and assertiveness. And so when you see the lion, there's no guesswork. The lion doesn't try to figure things out or hope for the best or try. It just does. It does. It's doing. It wakes up. It sees the gazelle. Things kick into gear. It's ready to go. Okay. It teaches you that you're the master of your own domain. And, it's all about the epitome of strength, power, and masculinity. It could be feminine energy too, but it's one of the things where these are things that we're kind of looking for, right? How do you want to achieve your dreams? How do you want to aspire to new things? Look at the lion. The lion gets up and it just does things. It gets it done. When it's time for action, when it's time to get things moving, it does the work. This ties back to the message of quality, right? Ties the message of having a plan, having an action plan, and moving forward. And so with the symbol, when I was talking to my wife about this, because I'm very big into symbolism and a lot of things like that. So I was like, well, I need the lion there, but I also have the circle for the Zen of the symbol for enlightenment. And I said, I have the right side brain here, and this is what this means, is how this ties in. And then I need the left side, which the lion presents, right? Because lion to me looks at action. It looks at something that it knows itself, and it's going to be assertive in what it does, and it's going to get it done no matter what. And that's the power of lions. Lions have this unique power. I mean, they're not the fastest, they're not the strongest, but yet they're the king of the jungle. There's reason behind that. And it's that inner power. When you stand better in your inner power, when you tap into that, when you tune in and get connected with you, that inner strength, that inner power, man, you could overcome anything. You then become that miracle. You then become that disruptor. You then become you leave a massive mark on the world. And the beautiful thing is the more you tap into that personal power, the more power you can help others thrive, and the more your light shines and helps. And the lion will teach you that as you study it. When you study it from the physical side, like I was saying, the sleep, focus, concentration. And then there's the spiritual side, the spirit of the animal. And in Native Americans, they studied animals and they channeled into their spirit to understand and ask for help when they need it. And it's really, really great to do. I know sometimes it sounds crazy, but it helps you. It helps you through your personal struggles, right? It helps you to calm your temper. It helps you to calm your urges and your impulses. It helps to keep you centered. I always see the lion as keeping me centered and balanced, but allowing me to strike when I need to. And not just strike in the sense of hoping, it's striking to know I'm getting there no matter what. And so I always like to have the lion on my back supporting me every step of the way as I'm moving forth in life. And I'm recommending to do the same thing. So in this small little episode here, the main goal was to have you understand that stop being a workaholic. You don't have to listen to those people out there, and I'm not going to mention their names, but there are people out there who tell you need to work, you need to grind, you got to work your competition. If you don't work out your competition, they're going to outwork you, and they're going to be way ahead of where you want to be. And I was like, man, if that was true, I'd be number one in everything I do. Especially in the past, I would work 18 hours a day, no problem, hammering out things, doing research, marketing, reading books, learning all that I can and studying and applying and putting it together, right? I'd be number one. I'd be number one in everything that I do. But then I've learned that that was burnout. I would get exhausted. I'd get fatigued. Yes, I got this level. I did this or I did that, but I wasn't happy. I was burnt. I was exhausted. I was tired. And so I had to look at something different. I had to shift gears. I had to see something from a different perspective. And I started to. And I said, how can I still achieve this with doing less? How can I start to do this at a level? I started studying billionaires. I'm like, they got 10,000 more things than I have to do. So how are they doing that, running 10, 5, 12, 15 businesses, but yet enjoying life, being with their family, and so much more? And that's one of the biggest things I learned. The lesson of the lion taught me that. And I've slowed down drastically. I've staged out things. I still get the same amount of things done, but I'm not stressed. It's so fascinating. Sometimes the work I do is even better. And so those are some of the things I wanted to share with you guys. We live in a society in America where it's all about do, do, do. It's a yang energy. It's time we start to take a step back, slow down, and connect with ourselves. This is what COVID was, the blessing of COVID to teach us. It got rid of your distractions. It got rid of things so that you can center and focus back to you. And some people, it was a choice. You either chose to do that or you just chose to hopefully one day things get back to normal. And so that is what I leave with you here today. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. But also just a quick commercial. I'm offering my book, first three chapters for free. All you have to do is just click on the link in the show notes. Go ahead, put your information in, and you'll have that automatically emailed to you. Also, we have our workshop coming up. I will be having it in the show notes. I won't be in this one. So please stay tuned next week. I'll have it in the show notes where you can go ahead and see what this class is all about. It's all about life mastery. It's something I highly recommend. It's one of my best classes I'm putting together yet. And it will be available in mid-November. And so I highly recommend tuning into that. And then also, I am speaking at an international event all about spirit duality. So it's in the show notes. Take a look, and you can go ahead, click on the link. It'll get you registered for the freebie side of things. And then there's also another link to where you can go ahead and register for the workshop. So it's a 5-day workshop. All the speakers are speaking for free. The free, I mean, for tickets are free. And then afterwards, you can carry on to the weekend. And that's a paid ticket, but it'll get you access to what we're going to be speaking on, workshops, and so much more. And I'm honored to be one of the speakers that'll be speaking there. So definitely check that out. As always, I appreciate you all. If this is your first time listening, please subscribe. It helps out. If you like the podcast, like everything we're talking about here, go ahead and like the podcast and leave a nice review. Helps get us the word out there. As always, I appreciate y'all, and I look forward to talking with you next week.